I've managed to get my hands on a MSI RTX 3070, and as you can see it's pretty big. It's actually a bit bigger than the 2080 Ti. I'll show you a size comparison later, but yeah, we've got the RTX 3070, which means I'm gonna get Port Royal, downloading the new NVIDIA driver upstairs now. Got it paired with the 5900X at the moment, so we're going to run Time Spy and Firestrike first and see what it can do. But yeah, it's a pretty nice looking card. I don't really like the RGB on it, but it's a pretty hefty unit. It does have RGB on the back as well. So yeah, we're out in the garage, got the water cooling again. Got the driver installed now, giving it a little bit of a mild overclock just to start with, and we've got 31,852 in Firestrike, almost 39,000 on the CPU score. I've had to drop the CPU down to 4.75. No idea why, but every time I put it to 4.8 or 4.825 like I had it before, it just resets. It doesn't blue screen or anything, it's really weird. It just resets when opening 3D Mark. You can see it's boosting up to 2100 and the memory clock's at 1950. The temperatures on this GPU with this massive cooler are just absolutely insane. Max temperature is 38 degrees with the fans on 100%. Now I'll just quickly show you the overclock here. So there you go. So we've got only 103 on the power limit. I don't know what's going on there. That's the highest it will go, which is pointless. 123 on the core and plus 801 on the memory at the minute. So yeah, it's running pretty cool. Obviously this is only running 1080p though, so I'm guessing as it runs higher resolution it'll get a bit warmer. Being one of the newer cards, we're at 3800 C14 with the tight sub-timings. So I think next we're going to go to plus 1000 on the memory, which should give us 2000 megahertz in GPU-Z, which it does. You can see there. So yeah, I'm going to go again. Now managed to hit 37,000 on the graphics score. You can see the combined and physics score kind of lined up as well. It's not going up and down as much as it was with the 6800 or the 2080 Ti, so I've no idea why that is. Whether it's the new NVIDIA driver or a new 3D Mark update which has fixed that, but seems to be mildly consistent now, though I've probably spoken too soon. You can see it's boosting really nicely to 2145, and the memory's at 2150 now, and you can see it's using about 278 watts, and they're the boost settings. So quickly show you an afterburner as well. So at 103 on the power limit, 180 on the core, and plus 1200 on the memory. So we're going to go up to 190 next. Getting very close to 33,000 overall now. I reckon if the physics and combined lined up perfectly we probably would have got it then, but I'm hoping in the next couple of runs we get it. We've boosted the memory up to 2075 now, and the core was hitting 2075 max. Really in the benchmark it's like 2150ish. You can see the board power is still 280 watts. So it's running really well actually. 33,200 overall, 37.7 on the graphics score. Combined I got up to 15,800, and you can see the core is going pretty mental, almost 2200, and memory still creeping up a bit as well. Samsung memory on this card, so that's why it's going so high. I don't know what's going on with GPU-Z here. It keeps flicking between all the different speeds for some reason. Anyway, they're the settings in Afterburner we've got so far. So we're up to nearly 240 on the core and 1350 on the memory, which is pretty nuts actually. It's going pretty quick. CPU is still the same, 4775. I think we're getting near the limits now. 250 on the core plus 1450 on the memory. I think the memory slider only goes up to 1500, yeah it does. Basically, I tried to go up to 260 on the core and it did crash. It has just run at 2125 or plus 1450 on the memory. However, the score is a little bit lower than my highest score so far. I've got 33 230, that's my highest score so far. The core clock is like 2190, 2175 during the actual tests. Rock solid, still maxed out at like 38 degrees or whatever, yeah. Still maxed out at 38 degrees, still pulling 280 watts obviously. I'd have to do a shunt mod to get any more power. And yeah, can't believe that's the max TDP. Oh no, it's 99%. Yeah, it's not reading right. There we go, 103.7, so it is basically power limited now. Max CPU temperature is only 63 as well. So yeah, it's a really decent card. If you want a 3070 or I guess a 3080, then this cooler is a monster cooler. It's really good. Obviously, if you're not running the fans at 100% like I am, those fans will be barely spinning. Can run almost at stock speed. It ran almost all the way through Firestrike to the end with the fans not even on. It came on right at the end of the combined test. So anyway, I'm going to see if it can get through with a memory on 1500, but I'm guessing it's going to crash. So yeah, you can see it is running, but it's definitely not enjoying it. It is at 8500, but I doubt it's going to get to the end. This is Samsung memory though, so to be honest, if you could get the voltage controller and shove like 1.8 or 1.9 volts through the memory, this would probably work right here. I bet it would work without artifacting. Oh, there we go, it crashed. Yeah. Straight on GT2, which is obviously more memory heavy. So yeah, we'll reset that. Go back to this profile here. Try 260 on the core again, but like I say last time that didn't work, so I don't know why it would work this time, but you never know with these things. It can be a bit random. And up it goes, it's still going. I'm starting to think it's an AMD card here. I mean, we're at plus 270 on the core. Gone back down to 1350 on the memory. Like I said, that was the fastest setting. And it's going nuts. Let me just bring up GPU-Z. You can see here, 2235. And it was pretty much at 2220 the whole time. It's just a crazy GPU. I'm going to go up to 280. Right, it just crashed, but it is nuts. It was at plus 300 on the core there, and it just crashed pretty much straight away in GT1. But you can see, oh, did it spike up to? I don't even think it spiked up that high, but it's been 2265 at plus 290. So I'm going to reset it. 290 was the max on there, 1350 worked best on there, and 100% fan speed. Oh yeah, that's not gone well. So I think we might have pushed it a little bit too far there. Yeah, it's properly crashed that time as well because the fans have stopped spinning. So yeah, maybe 280 was really the limit. It did score a little bit lower at 290, but it was holding 2235, 2220. It's pretty quick. So yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it'd make a difference putting this thing underwater, but I bet with a shunt mod, some voltage mod for the memory and some liquid nitrogen and a proper BIOS, this card would be absolutely insane. Running Firestrike Extreme now, you can see it's still boosting up to 2265. We've just clicked the memory up a couple of megahertz to 2092.7. Still running 4.775 on the CPU, and you can see here we've got like almost 18,800. I want to get over 18,800. The GPU scores at 19,100, which isn't too bad. Yeah, we have it 18,856. Got 19,200 on the graphics, over 39,000 on the physics, and 9,800 on the combined. Not bad. Just creeps the memory up a little bit more, so it's at like 1388 I think now. Yep, 1388. I'm just going up tiny bits now because it is pretty much maxed out. So I've just had to go at Ultra because I can't really get much higher in Extreme. You can see it's getting just over 10k, so not too bad, but the physics score's a little bit low, combined score's a little bit low. I reckon we could probably get a little bit more out of it, to be honest. Got a baseline time spy score here, 13,900 on the GPU, 14,245 overall. We'll see what it can get once it's fully maxed out and overclocked. That was with the fans on 100% and the power limit up to 103. So I just stuck it to plus 200 on the core and plus 1,000 on the memory, and that gets you up to 15,200 almost on the GPU score and 15,251 overall, which is pretty decent. We are making a little bit of progress, but interestingly you can see the GPU is getting a bit warmer now, 41 degrees in time spy, so it's clearly being worked a bit harder, and I'm not able to clock as high, especially on the memory. It does get quite unstable, and same with the core if I go over 260 here. So we'll try 1280 for example, and it seems to crash in the first couple of seconds of the benchmark running, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, there we go, it's crashed, and all I did was bump the memory up from 1250 to 1280. So that tiny little jump in frequency on the memory makes enough difference to crash it in GT1, which is a bit odd because it's not resetting the card either, but it's crashing the whole benchmark. So I'm going to try and get around it, but we'll see. If I can, then 15,676 is my best score. So interestingly, it's doing the same thing in Firestrike, or Time Spy Extreme as well, sorry. But it goes a lot further into GT1. As you can see, I can run the memory a lot faster, and it doesn't actually crash in the exact same place that it crashes in normal Time Spy. So let's see if it'll do it again. Yeah, there we go. So it's crashed there, and that was with the memory at 1280. We've managed to run Time Spy Extreme, but again only at 1250 on the memory. I'm going to try 1270 on the core, see if I can get that to run, but it might crash in the same place again, you never know. So I got a few extra points that time, whoops, 7958. Gonna try plus 280 on the core. We're getting there, 7,967 now. Creeping up about 10 points at a time, not 10 times at a point. So I guess we're gonna go to 290. So close, yet so far. I think just running it again would probably work, to be honest. just run Night Raid, which is the X12. Oops. And you can see here, ran it at plus 2080 or 280 and plus 1350. Almost got 150,000 on the graphics score. Got 89,000 in wildlife. We're going to try and go for a bit more because it's a pretty light benchmark. It only really runs quite light load because it's so high FPS, and obviously it's kind of CPU bottlenecked. Got an extra 400 points that time, so we'll try a little bit higher, see how high we can go. Kind of want to get 90,000.